Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Level Up Lando, the show that takes you inside the struggles, the trials, the tribulations, and the occasional success. That is the everyday challenge of my life as I pursue my never ending effort of trying to level up. I am your host, Landon Like a Plane, and I'm coming to you from Truscott Studios, aka my bedroom right here in lovely Aspen, Colorado. Today is Wednesday, January 7th at 4:34 p.m. And I'm coming to you on a somewhat winter's day. It's been a really slow start to the winter here. This is the worst winter people are saying in like 70 years. Or excuse me, since the 70s. And so, which is what, I guess that's 50 years. So anyway, there's just it's rough, and we just got some snow. Like we got like 12 inches of snow, which is quite a bit of snow for where I live, and it's not enough. Just because we need a lot more snow, and so it's going to be an interesting rest of the winter. We've got some more snow supposedly coming tonight, and then it's supposed to get sunny. So it's just been a really rough winter. And in that light, I have not skied one time. I do not have a ski pass. And so if this is the first year that I don't have a ski pass, at least this late in the season. This is the season to not have a ski pass. So, but alternatively, I have signed up for the gym and I've been going up there. Today was day 24 of swimming. And so I'm just trying to continue to put in the work to check off these 100-day goals that I've come up with. So that's a little pat on the back. That's a little level up, Lando. Day 24 on the road to 100. And yeah, other than that, the struggle of running my own business continues. I really love that I work for myself, but it is hard, although it was hard when I worked for other people. So, in a certain way, at least this hard is a hard I've chosen. And yeah, hopefully, I like to think that this is the hardest it's going to get, and then it'll only ever get easier. And so, continuing to try to keep my momentum going forward, I recently created a bonus video for the realtor that I've been working for, and I sent it to him, and I got some feedback today, and he wants me to edit this free video that I've made for him, and that's a little annoying. I gave this guy a gift and he's like, "Yeah, it's great, except I can't use it unless you do this, 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 and this." And it's like, all right, well, then just don't use it. But also, of course, I'm going to make the changes. I find that amusing. I try to do something kind and then ultimately make more work for myself that I'm not getting paid for. But whatever, it's not necessarily about getting paid. So in that way, I'm sure something good will come from it. So happy to do that, but just a little annoying as well. And then I just paid my rent, which is a big deal. I had to sell a bunch of my stock in order to do it. And the way that I look at that is, I'm investing in the business. Paying my rent is like priority one. Nothing else really happens if I can't keep this housing situation happening. So, uh, that's definitely like where my focus always is, and that's a level up. I just paid rent. It's due tomorrow, and I paid it today. So did what I had to do, sold some stock, and now I'm in position to get through the month and hopefully get another client or maybe get a job. I've been trying to get a job working for a property management company, and it would be amazing if I could do that job and then come in the side door and get them to pay me to do drone stuff for their listings. So that was my hope and my intention. And I called the lady on Monday, and she said that they're doing interviews at the end of the week, but I haven't got a phone call yet. So I'm hoping that I have an interview tomorrow or Friday, which is the end of the week. So we'll see. That would be amazing. Fingers crossed. I could get a base salary, which would really take a lot of the pressure off, and then be able to continue to build the drone thing, on the side. So but trying to continue to be productive. Oh, I don't have one. Darn it. I'll be right back. This is important. Check this out. This is dope. I'm pretty proud of this. All right. So one of the breakthroughs is this bad boy, Aspen Drone Company, and I love my logo. There we go. It cut off the leaf at the top, which is too bad. But I didn't care. I was like, I'll fix them another time. I just need to get them. So I got my cards, and I like it. It looks clean. And then on the back side, you got me, head pilot CEO, and then that's a QR code. So that's dope. So you can scan that, and it'll take you to my social medias and stuff. So I'm pretty thrilled that that's just like something that I've been needing to do that I actually got done, and now it's done, you know? And so in that way, you know, if you enjoy the show, this show is community supported. And so feel free to donate. That'll help you create better production and more entertaining shows. So if you like what you're getting, feel free to donate. Click the QR code below. So, in that light, yeah, you know, I was able to get business cards, and I'm pretty thrilled about that. And that's just one of the things that I'm highlighting as something, as an example of a way that I'm productive in my downtime. And video that I made, you know, I'm not like at night. I have a hard time like editing in the day. I really do. It's still there's a little bit of light left, and that's why I sat down to do this podcast. Like I should be editing, even if it's not like for money, if it's just for the skill, you know, to get better at it and to produce content for my portfolio. Um, and I just have a hard time doing that while there's light out. But then once it gets dark, it becomes very easy. I'm sitting on my couch and I'll just bust out the computer and like I'll have the TV playing in the background, and but I'll be really working on the computer. And so I just am trying to go with what works, but it's just a lot of the time that I can be using to be moving forward. I don't. And so there's a part of me that feels um, maybe not stagnant, but like I'm moving slowly, like I'm progressing very slowly, and that's somehow a choice, or I don't have to be doing that, and I am. So I turn that off. We'll bring that back later. But yeah, community supported. Feel free to donate, help out the show. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead, and I know it's early in the show. The show might be short. You know, I find myself a little impassioned as far as I can usually come up with a half an hour worth of time, but we're 8 minutes into the show, and I'm already coming to the little green book of accountability, mostly because of this business card. You know, like that's a big deal. This is one that has been being written down for a while, and it's a reason. It's a good example of highlighting how part of the reason that I want to be sober is a lot of my drug use comes from boredom. And one of the things I'm learning as I'm experimenting with different approaches to my life and business is when I'm bored, if I'm not using drugs, I do stuff like this. I somehow occupy my time by pushing the business forward. That's what I did when I edited that video. It's like I was just sitting on the couch at night, kind of like bored. I don't want to watch TV. I want to be doing something. And so I find ways to be productive with my business. And I think that that's really healthy. That's like a really healthy replacement instead of getting like stoned, for example. So here we are. What is it? 1/7. Man, that's the thing about paying rent is that it's like, unless it's a month ahead of time, which is my preference, um, it's already the 8th. It'll be the 8th tomorrow. So I got 24 days. 24 days till rent's due again. Damn it. Oh, man, life. So, all right, here I got a list of sober things that I want to do: read, meditate, exercise, socialize, podcast, write, charity, music, and travel. Man, that's a good list of things. I want to do all those things. Those are all good things to do. All right. So, edit. I did the bonus Doug video. Yay, that's a huge level up. Lando. Yay. I love it when I get to cross stuff off this. It's a very gratifying feeling. Like I said, I feel like I'm making very little progress. And so to see myself crossing this thing off is dope. So, all right, I gotta add the logos to the rest of the videos. And then you got gotta go, and then the sub accounts for my bank accounts. Now, one of the cool things that I did is I paid my rent from my new business bank account, which is what I was setting up. And now I can create all these different sub accounts so that I can automatically transfer money over to pay taxes and emergency fund and have all these different sub accounts that will allow me to hopefully, organize my money in a way where it's automated and I don't have to think about it. So, I did learn about that. I didn't get them set up yet. And so that will be good. I've got to go through all my memory and clean and delete it. Testimonials. That's another big one I've got to do. I'm gonna go to the gym down just so I can cross it off and pat myself on the back. Yay! I went up to the gym. Feeling good. Day 24 of swimming. I'm exercising. Nothing that I'm doing when I'm bored. I'm just on my couch, like watching TV, and I'll go crank out a bunch of reps of different exercise because I've got weights in my living room, and I'm trying to do that while I'm like bored. So trying to like harness the boredom, I guess, is essentially what's happening. So, all right, that's a pretty good little start there. What else do I got to do? Taxes. And that's why I'm trying to get my money in line because we're in January and the bank that I have won't let me make sub accounts. I can't believe they won't let me do sub accounts. So that's what we're gonna do with Schwab. Moving over from Alpine Bank to Schwab. All right. I mean, I'm looking back over some of these other ones from before, and it's everything that's currently here. Back up my memory, check the hard drives, get the testimonials, do the questionnaire. That's a good one. I got to do the questionnaire. And like this is all stuff that I can do this evening now that I'm getting ready to sit down in front of the computer. Like I've used my day. So I feel good about that. Okay, what else do we got here? I got to write a speech. I had my Toastmasters meeting last night, and we had our holiday party, and that was awesome. I love my Toastmasters group. It's an international speaking and leadership organization, and I am good at it. I love it. It's a cool way to be a part of the community, and it harnesses something that I really enjoy doing, which is speaking. And they made the announcement that the international speech contest is coming up in February, and so I'm going to try to compete in that. And I got to write my speech and start practicing it. So that's something that I can work on. Toastmasters speech and Eagles Club. I had a great New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. That's something that we can riff on for a minute here. All right, we're getting there. We got 14 minutes going. We might make it to a half an hour. New Year's Eve. Yeah. So the end of 2025 into 2026. So I had a great New Year's Eve, way better than I thought it was going to be. I went to go meet up with my buddy Tommy, and we were just going to go have a drink. But getting into town, it was a zoo. There was no buses that would stop at the bus stop because they were all full. And I couldn't get into town, and my buddy was waiting for me, and it was just so crazy that he was going to just take off. And so by the time that I got into town, I didn't realize like how crazy it was going to be, and none of the bars were going to be able to. They were just going to all be packed. There's just a small town, and it's one of the busiest nights of the whole year. And I know that, but I don't know what I was thinking. I wanted to see it, and then by the time I got into town on a bus that was just like stuffed full and packing people on at every single stop. Um, by the time I got to the stop in town, I was like, I'm going home. I'm immediately going home. I'm going to buy a beer and go back to my house. So I went and bought a beer, and then I met up with my friend, and I was like, you want to just go over to the Eagles Club for one drink? And he was like, sure. So we went over there, and there was nobody in there, and it was awesome, and it was super quiet, and we had this like really fun time. And then slowly people started coming in, and we ended up like partying and celebrating the New Year at the Eagles Club, and it was a really great time. And he ended up having such a good time. He signed up to become a member, and that made me feel really good. And so there's just something about trying to help this community and be a part of the community that I'm in that makes me feel really good. And so I just enjoy the ways that I get to do that, and that's through Toastmasters and the Eagles Club. It was very cool. So then we ended up coming back to my house and staying up. I stayed up till 5 a.m. They stayed up all night. And it was just a really good night of deep conversation and connecting with a friend that I know but didn't know that well. And now I know a lot better. And initially I was planning on just coming home and having my beer and calling it. I probably wasn't even going to stay up till midnight. And not only did I stay up till midnight, I stayed up till 5 in the morning, partying with my friends, ringing in the new year. So I had a really good New Year's. That was a really um, fun time, which I wasn't expecting. It was an unexpected fun, and that was pleasant. And then since then, all kinds of crazy shits happened in the world. Trump went and snatched Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela, and now the whole country is reeling in shock of the fact that we did this targeted military attack. And this fucking ICE agent shot a woman in the face today in Minneapolis because she tried to run him over with her car because they were trying to protest them. And so all kinds of crazy political. Oh, Tim Walz had to step down because there's all kinds of corruption in Somalia. I mean, not in Minnesota by these Somalians over defrauding care. All while the Epstein files have just come out. So it sure is an interesting time here at the beginning of 2026. But I think most people are happy to turn the page on 2025. I think 2025 was a pretty good year for me. And I am looking forward to 2026 as I continue to try to develop these healthy habits and, continue to try to push my way forward, through the unknown towards stability, towards success, and towards not having to worry about how to cover the bills. And then once I'm there, I'll be able to really contribute and give back. Like if I'm already giving back on my little level now, when I'm in a position to really contribute, it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited to have the opportunity and to be working for the opportunity to help. To help, life's hard, and I'm really good at helping people. I like to help, and I look forward to when I can help more than just myself. So that is what's going on. Um, in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a quick look here at the old Daily Stoic. This is 366 meditation on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. Thanks, guys. And one of the things that I like about this book is that we just finished it, right? December 31st. That was, I think, the last show I did. So, you know, you end up here on the 31st at the end of the book. But what's cool about this book is that it's a calendar book. So when you get to the end of the year, you come back around to the start of it, you open it right back up and go ahead and jump to the day that you're on. Now we've obviously gone past the 1st through the 6th. So we're going to jump straight to the 7th. And we've got all this to go and to learn. And sometimes you remember the lesson that you learned last year, but it hits you different because you're in a different place. So let's see what the Daily Stoic holds for us today. Oh, now before I let's read this. Let's see how good it is at reframing my position. So part of the reason that I want to sit down and do this is obviously I really like the little green book of accountability that helps me to figure out what I need to get done and if I'm doing it and if I get to pat myself on the back or not. And I really like to pat myself on the back when I do a good job. So it's nice to get that stuff done. But the other thing is that a lot of times I'm in some sort of state of mind that is not productive. It's not helpful to me to stay there, and I'm struggling to break free from that. And that's another huge reason I like doing this show is that I also get to do the Daily Stoic, where I get to reframe whatever I'm going through, and I like to do that live in front of the camera for you guys so that you can see how powerful this book is and how immediately it can turn your state of mind around. So I like to present my state of mind to you before I read from it and then read from it and show you how I've shifted or not. So where am I at? I am struggling to pay the rent. I'm so grateful that I was able to pay the rent this month. And I had to sell a bunch of stock to do it, which sucks because I'd rather do it with income. But I'm also grateful that I figured out a way to save money and invest it so that I could do that. Even though it's a hit, and ultimately I got to make up that money. But it just allows me some more time where I don't have to worry about how am I going to pay the rent because that's a huge issue. And in that time from now till the end of January, I can now put my trust and faith in the process and that the universe is unfolding perfectly as I struggle to figure out how to pay for food and bills because I don't have an income for myself and I don't have a current job that I'm working on. I have client, but they don't have work for me. Plus, it hasn't been snowy, so everything's ugly. Everything's dead and brown and all. It's not white and Christmassy. It's like really ugly and muddy and dirt. And so, if you have a multi-million dollar mansion listing, you're not looking to get footage taken right at this moment because it's still not pretty. So that's something else that's working against me, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that I need to get another client, and I don't know if I'm doing what I need to be doing. Oh, that's something I'll put on the list. So what I should be doing is cold calling, which is how I got this current client, and I'm not doing that, and I should be, and there's no reason for me not to be. And so that's a little frustrating to me is that I know what to do and I'm kind of like hesitating or just I don't even really know. Maybe I'm lazy or I don't know. I that what I do know is it's not getting done and it needs to be done. So there's a lot of judgment there. There's a lot of self sort of loathing in the way of I know what I'm supposed to do and I'm not doing it. And that is part of the reason I had to sell my stock is that I've had all this time to do that and I didn't do it. I haven't done it even today. So that's something. And the other thing is that maybe I have some imposter syndrome going on. I'm worried that if I get a new client that I'm gonna have to do a higher level of work than I'm currently capable of. And that's concerning to me. I don't want to burn my reputation and I want to make sure that I really deliver a quality of work that's worth the money I'm charging. So there might be a little of that going on. So I got some imposter syndrome happening, and I've got some I'm not as productive as I could be, and I've got some I'm suffering the consequences of my own hesitation, and all of that is a little disappointing. So there's disappointment and self judgment and the consequences and the reality of that. And then where I want to get to is feeling accomplished and productive and successful. So the two aren't aligned, and that creates uh, like a disconnect inside. So let's see what the Daily Stoic has to say. How can I heal my disconnect, Daily Stoic? Let's see. January 7th, 7 clear functions of the mind. Oh, I like where this is starting. The proper work of the mind is the exercise of choice, refusal, yearning, repulsion, preparation, purpose, and assent. What then can pollute and clog the mind's proper functioning? Nothing but its own corrupt decisions. Hmm. Epictetus Discourses 4.11.6-7. Let's break down each one of those tasks. Choice, to do and think right. Refusal of temptation. Yearning to be better. Repulsion of negativity or bad influences, of what isn't true. Preparation for what lies ahead or whatever may happen. Purpose, our guiding principle and highest priority. Assent, to be free of deception about what's inside and outside our control, and be ready to accept the latter. Mm. This is what the mind is here to do. We must make sure that it does and see everything else as pollution or corruption. Mm. All right, well, so there you go. This is a perfect example. I mean, that aligns exactly with what I was just saying. My mind is polluted. I'm polluted. I'm polluted by distraction. I'm polluted by self judgment. I'm polluted by lack of action. I'm polluted by knowing what I need to do, but not doing it. And so, luckily that's temporary. All that's temporary. Luckily, I'm self-aware, and luckily talking like this helps me to work it out a little bit so that I can at least pin it down a little bit more and then try to work it out, and that is what's good about when circumstances are unfavorable, is that the best thing that can happen is you become that they are unfavorable, and then you start to take action to make them more favorable. And maybe that takes time, and maybe you never get there, but at the end of the day it starts with the self-awareness. And so I'm aware of these things that I need to do, and talking it out helps me to find the motivation and the determination to take action despite myself, despite my desire to be hesitant and to feel like I'm not good enough or unworthy. And none of that's true. I am absolutely worthy. And so one of the things I do at the gym, I go down the water slide and I use it as a meditation slide. And I say my little mantras that I was saying at the end of my runs before I go down the slide, because it's got a ton of water that comes out at the top. And I like to imagine that water is like the waters of whatever my mantra is. So one of the things I find myself saying is that I am blessed, I am worthy, and I expect good things to happen. And then I'll go down the slide and wash myself in the waters of expecting good things to happen, cover myself in success and accomplishment and abundance. And that is the energy that I'm able to sort of harness despite life being really difficult and despite concern. One of my friends called me today and he's like, "So are you stressed about your job, about your work?" And I was like, I wouldn't say stressed, is not how I look at it. I really enjoy that I get to wake up and do what I want with my day, even though I don't have an income. And I get up to the gym and I get a workout in. And it's interesting to me to see how there are things that I'm trying to do to help bring in the energy of abundance and success that have nothing to do with money, and committing to these 100-day goals, and committing to finding a new client and continuing to create income through the business are all ways that I I can create success without it actually looking like a dollar. So that part is cool, and in that way I just embrace my own struggle. I embrace the suffering because I've chosen it, and that I'm hoping to get through it. And I take comfort in the fact that I'm good at handling the suffering and being productive through it. And so that's what I'm trying to do, and I feel like I'm doing that. I feel like I'm finding ways to continue to move forward into uncertainty despite not being certain if I'm going the right way. And that's all I can do. And I can trust that the universe is unfolding perfectly and it's conspiring in my favor. And so, with that, I hope that you're able to unpollute your mind. I hope that you're able to get laser focused and allow for what is your highest purpose to call you forward through any uncertainty and any lack of desire to take action, which is what I'm going through. And I gotta say, I feel better now that I recorded the podcast. I was feeling anxious and a little, I don't know, agitated, and I was just like, you know what, just go do a show. And now that I've done it, I've got a little bit of an idea of what I'm going to do tonight as I sit down and I accomplish work in the evening rather than in the day when it's so awesome to be able to go outside and experience the nature, which just gives me so much joy and grounded feeling that it's hard for me to not do it when it's light. And now that the sun's down and it's going to be nighttime and cold and I don't want to be outside anyway, I can get to work. And I got a little list of things I can do. And I'm actually feeling positive. I cheered myself up. So there you go. That's the magic of Level Up Lando, you know? Talk yourself into leveling up. So I hope that you can do that. I hope that you can talk yourself into leveling up and that you continue to level up and that you find a clear mind and you know that it's important to take the action on the things that you need to do and that you do those things. So with that, I'll send you out into the world on your way and bless you on your path. I hope that you find success in the same way that I hope I find my own success. And then I get to pat myself on the back for leveling up. So, yay, we got some stuff done. You know, at least another episode's in the bag. And until next time, I am your host, Landon like a plane, and I'm taking off.